My phone buzzed at 4:07 a.m. I wasn't asleep. How could I sleep when my wife had been at her best friend's house all night again? I rolled over, saw Megan's name lighting up the screen, and the message that instantly told me everything I needed to know. Something came up. Relax. I'll explain. No punctuation, no affection, and a typo. Megan, the woman who once corrected my grammar and birthday cards, was suddenly typing like a teenager hiding something. Something came up at 4 in the morning from somewhere she wasn't supposed to be, and I was supposed to relax. Before I tell you what happened next, do me a favor. Hit subscribe, click like, and tell me in the comments what you would do if your spouse texted you at 4 a.m. with that line. Because here's what I did. I stared at my screen for a long minute. Megan had said she'd be at Olivia's place, girls' wine night. She called it home by morning. But the truth is those wine nights had become more and more frequent. Her outfits had gotten tighter, her makeup more dramatic, her perfume stronger, her excuses weaker, her phone always face down, always locked, always full of notifications she needed to check in the bathroom. Relax, she wrote, as if my brain hadn't already done the math, as if I hadn't already noticed the signs, the late workouts, the sudden giggles at her phone, the way she'd flinch when I walked into the room unexpectedly. There was a time I would have called her immediately, begged for reassurance, worried I'd lose her. But something in me snapped into perfect clarity. I typed one simple line. No need to explain. Stay with him. You're single now. I sent it before doubt could crawl in. My phone buzzed instantly. Then again, and again. Incoming calls. Rapid-fire texts. I let them all ring unanswered, turned the volume all the way down, and placed the phone gently on the nightstand. 10 minutes later, tires screeched into the driveway. Then the pounding started. Doorbell, door again. It was messy, desperate. She hadn't even taken time to wipe the smeared makeup from her face. It was all over her. Guilt, panic, fear. Evan, open the door. Please. I took my time. Walked slowly, calmly. I cracked the door, left the chain on. Her eyes were wild. I had never seen Megan look small before. Baby, please, she breathed, voice trembling. I can explain. At 4 a.m., I asked. From where exactly? I told you. Something happened. An emergency with Olivia? I asked. Yes, she snapped too fast. I tilted my head. Funny. Olivia's been in Chicago for 3 days. She blinked, shocked I knew. That's the thing about liars. They always think they're smarter than the person they're lying to. She grabbed the door, knuckles white. Evan, just let me inside. No, I said evenly. You can explain right here. She shivered, not from cold, from exposure. I swear it wasn't what you think. Then what is it? I asked. Whose house were you at? Because judging from what you're wearing right now, I let my eyes travel down her black party dress, not wine night attire. You weren't planning to watch movies with your friend. Her bottom lip quivered. I was helping someone. A friend. He. I repeated. So we've dropped the girls' night fantasy already. Good. Tears started spilling, streaking what was left of her mascara. I wasn't. It just got complicated. Complicated, I echoed softly. At 4 a.m., her silence answered me better than any lie could. She finally managed. If I tell you the truth, you'll hate me. If you don't tell the truth, I replied, there's no reason to keep talking. My voice wasn't raised. My pulse wasn't racing. I wasn't begging or breaking. I was done, and she could see it. Something inside her cracked. She whispered, there's someone else. I nodded once. I know, but I can explain, she pleaded. I can fix this. I slowly, calmly, closed the door on her trembling face. Stay with him, Megan, I said through the crack. You're single now. Her knees buckled. A choked, broken sound tore from her. Please. Evan, click. The door locked. Her world stopped. And for the first time in months, mine started again. She stayed outside the door longer than I expected. The pounding stopped, replaced by quiet sobs, then muffled phone calls, then silence. I didn't go back to bed. I made coffee instead, the rich scent filling the kitchen as dawn crept up behind the blinds. I sat at the table, listening to the occasional shuffle of her feet on the porch. She didn't leave, not yet, because she still believed I might crack, that I'd swing the door open, pull her into my arms, tell her we could fix this. She didn't know me as well as she thought. At 5:02 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Evan, please. I need you. Just talk to me. I put the phone down without responding. She needed someone else all those nights, not me. Around 5:30, I heard her footsteps move away. She crossed the yard, heels uneven on the pavement. I assumed she'd called someone to pick her up. Maybe the same someone she'd been with. Maybe someone else. I didn't care. Around 7:15 a.m., she came back. I heard the car first, the slam of the door, and then another knock. Softer this time. Evan, can you please open the door? Her voice was thin, exhausted. Just give me 5 minutes inside. I finally opened the door, all the way this time. She stood there wrapped in a jacket that clearly wasn't hers. Too big, masculine, expensive. It confirmed everything without a word. Her eyes were red, her hair tangled. She looked like someone whose lies had collapsed faster than she could rebuild them. Thank you, she whispered when she saw the door open, stepping forward. But I raised a hand to stop her. Before you set one foot inside, I said, you're going to tell me exactly where you were. She swallowed hard, throat tight. I told you. I was with a friend. Which one? I asked. What's his name? She shook her head rapidly, like a child refusing vegetables. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. She wrung her hands. It was someone from work. His name? I repeated. Say it. The truth was a jagged thing. It cut her tongue on the way out. Jason. I leaned back slightly. Sales department Jason? She nodded miserably. Your married coworker Jason? Another nod. I let out a quiet laugh. Not joy. More like disbelief mixed with clarity. So let me understand. You spent the night with a married man. Lied about where you were. Rolled in at 4 a.m. with typos and panic. And you think 5 minutes is going to fix that? She stepped closer. It wasn't like that. You didn't mean to get caught. That's all this is. She looked like she was about to collapse. Evan, please. I made a mistake. Mistake? I repeated. A mistake is forgetting to set your alarm. A mistake is leaving milk out overnight. Cheating on your spouse for weeks isn't a mistake. It's a hobby. She winced like I'd slapped her. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. I cut in. Easily. Repeatedly. Without hesitation. She covered her face with shaking hands. I was confused. Things between us haven't been good. And instead of talking to me, I said calmly, you chose to build a secret life with Jason from sales. She dropped her hands, staring at me helplessly. Can I please just come inside? I stared at the threshold between us, the line she'd already crossed long ago. Then I stepped aside, not as forgiveness, not as weakness, as clarity. She entered like she expected the old routine, me comforting, soothing, fixing. But I didn't move toward her. I didn't offer a touch or a word. She hovered awkwardly in the hallway. Can we talk? She asked softly. We are talking, I replied. No, I mean like really talk. I pointed toward the kitchen. Sit. She sat. Slowly, carefully, like the chair might reject her too. I remained standing. She looked up at me, eyes glossy. I know I screwed up. I know I deserve whatever happens next. But I still love you. I took a breath, steady and slow. If you loved me, you would have protected us, even from your own weaknesses. Her face crumpled. I thought I could control it. Just flirting at first. Harmless. Then, she shook her head. I don't know what happened. You chased validation, I said. And you didn't want it from me. I did, she protested. But you stopped seeing me. Funny thing. Cheaters always rewrite history to make themselves victims. I have seen you every day, I said. But you stopped seeing us. She dropped her gaze, crying quietly. The first honest tears of the morning, maybe. For a moment, silence stretched between us like a tight wire. Finally, she whispered, Do you want me to leave? I want the truth, I said. All of it. She sniffed, wiping her eyes. Okay, ask me anything. I leaned forward slightly. How many times? Her breath shuddered as she exhaled. Last night was the first time but not the first time you were with him. She nodded. We've met after work a few times. Talked a lot. I was lonely. So was I said quietly. But I didn't go looking for someone else. Her chin trembled. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't erase what you did. She flinched again. Tell me something, I said. If I hadn't texted you back, would you have come home at all? She hesitated, a flicker too long. I saw the answer in the silence. That shattered the last small piece of denial in me. She reached out a hand, as if to bridge the growing distance, but I stepped away. Her hand hung midair, useless. Her tears grew heavier. Evan, What do you want from me? She whispered. Accountability, I said. And consequences. Her breath hitched. What consequences? But I didn't answer. I wasn't ready to give her that yet. I wasn't going to soothe her fears. I was going to let them grow, because the truth is, fear was the first real thing she'd felt for us in months. And I wanted her to feel every second of it. She sat perfectly still after I said consequences, as if the wrong movement would shatter what little remained of her stability. I poured myself another cup of coffee and left her staring at the table. She watched my every move like she was trying to figure out a new version of me, one she'd never bothered to learn. Can we talk like adults? She asked finally. I am talking like an adult, I replied. For the first time in a long time. She swallowed hard. What do you want me to do? Beg. Hate myself? I already do. I don't want theatrics, I said. Just truth. I gave you the truth. You gave me the minimum amount of truth necessary for survival. She closed her eyes, a tear sliding down her cheek. I don't even know why it happened, she whispered. I felt invisible. I nodded slowly. You felt invisible, so you chose someone who made you feel noticed, even if that meant making me feel disposable. She didn't argue. Couldn't. I know I hurt you, she breathed. What do you expect me to do now? Expectations, I said. Funny word for a moment like this. She waited. I didn't give her anything more. Not yet. Time passed. She hadn't even taken off the jacket, that man's jacket, the one currently swallowing her tiny frame. A reminder wrapped around her shoulders. She must have finally realized, because she slipped it off like it burned. She held it awkwardly, unsure where to put another man's clothing in the home she betrayed. Trash bins outside, I said quietly. She flinched again, but she obeyed. Watching her open the back door with hesitation, stepping into the cold gray morning, tossing the jacket into the garbage, it wasn't satisfying. Not even close. But it was a start. She came back in, rubbing her arms. It's freezing out there, she murmured. I didn't offer warmth. I didn't offer anything. She sat again. More silence. Heavy. Tangible. Then came the question I knew was coming. Is this the end? I don't know yet, I said. That's what we're going to find out. She looked at me like hope had just barely flickered back to life. What do I have to do? She asked. First, I said, you're calling Olivia. Her brow furrowed. What? You used her as your alibi? She deserves to know. Evan, no. Please. Second, you're calling Jason's wife. Evan. Third, I continued. You're going to tell the truth. Not the edited version. Not the version where you made a mistake in a vacuum. The actual truth. She shook her head. I can't destroy his family. You already did, I said coldly. You just want to make sure nobody blames you for it. Her hand trembled as she wiped her cheek. There has to be another way. There isn't. Her voice cracked. Why are you being so cruel? I leaned forward slightly. Because I'm done being your doormat. She stared at me, broken. Then she whispered, barely audible. Do you still love me? I didn't respond. I let the question die in the air. She took my silence as the answer, or at least the only one she deserved in that moment. After a long stretch of breathing and breaking, she whispered, What now? Now, I said, you pack a bag. Her head snapped up. Are you kicking me out? No, I said evenly. You're visiting your parents. Evan, I won't share this space with the lies still clinging to you, I said. You need to go somewhere that forces you to confront what you've done. She wrapped her arms around herself. For how long? Until I decide, I said. If I decide. More tears. Quiet. Hopeless. She nodded slowly, like she knew resistance would only make things worse. She stood, knees trembling, and walked toward our bedroom. The door closed softly behind her. She stayed in there for over an hour. I heard drawers opening, hangers scraping, occasional sobbing. When she finally emerged, she had a single suitcase and a purse. Eyes red, face pale, no makeup left. A different version of Megan, the one who can no longer pretend she's the victim. She stood by the door, hesitating. Please, she whispered, don't do anything final while I'm gone. There's nothing final yet, I said. But there could be. She nodded, grabbed her luggage, and walked outside. I didn't follow. I didn't watch her go. I waited until I heard her car start and fade down the street before I finally allowed myself a breath. The house was quiet. Too quiet. But this kind of quiet was different. It didn't feel like abandonment. It felt like control. Like clarity. Like a peace I had forgotten existed. I sat on the couch, hands clasped loosely, staring into the stillness of my own living room. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't waiting for anything. Not waiting for texts. Not waiting for excuses. Not waiting for lies. The silence wasn't loneliness. It was honesty. And I realized something then. Something simple and terrifying and empowering. I didn't miss her. Not yet. Maybe not ever. The hours after she left felt surreal. Not painful. Not chaotic. Just quiet. I made breakfast for myself. Eggs, toast, coffee, and sat at the table where Megan had cried hours earlier. Her absence didn't feel like loss. It felt like a window had finally been opened in a room that had been suffocating me for months. Around lunchtime, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Is this Evan? A woman asked. Calm voice. Controlled anger beneath it. Yes. This is Emily, she said. Jason's wife. I leaned back in my chair. I see. We need to talk, she said. It wasn't a request. We met an hour later at a park near her office. Neutral ground. Open air. No walls for anyone to hide behind. Emily looked composed. Impossibly composed for someone who just discovered her husband was cheating. Her hair was neatly curled, blazer perfectly fitted. No tears. No panic. Just steel. Thank you for meeting me, she said. I figured you deserve the truth. I know Megan told you something, but here's the rest. Emily didn't hesitate. They've been meeting at a hotel 2 towns over. Fridays. Sometimes Tuesdays. Jason's credit card statements match up. She showed me screenshots. Receipts. Hotel check-ins. Photos of them entering the building together. She had tracked everything. There was no more room for softened lies. No more pretending it just happened. How long do you think this has been going on? She asked. 6 weeks, I said. That's what Megan admitted. Emily shook her head. Try 4 months. The words hit hard. Not like a punch. More like a realization, a puzzle snapping into its final place. I'm sorry, she added. I know you were hoping it wasn't this bad. I wasn't hoping for anything anymore, I said quietly. I just wanted the truth. Well, now you have it, she replied, offering a sad smile. What we do with it is up to us. I felt no rage, just confirmation, like my instincts had been trying to scream through a locked door. And now that door stood wide open. What are you going to do? I asked. Divorce him, she answered immediately. Tonight. I nodded. Good. And you? She asked gently. Same, I said. I was already planning it. Emily exhaled, relief mixed with grief. Then I wish you luck, she said. We both deserve better. We shook hands. 2 strangers bound by the same betrayal. When I returned home, the house was still clean, quiet, peaceful. I walked into the bedroom and opened Megan's side of the closet. There were empty hangers where some of her clothes had been. A few dresses still hanging. Ones she wore when things were real. I took them carefully, folded them, placed them in a box. Not angrily. Not bitterly. Just done. That evening, Megan called. I ignored it. She called again. And again. The 10th call came with a voicemail. Evan, please, call me back. I talked to my parents. I told the truth. I want to fix this. I'm begging you. I sat on the couch and listened once. Then deleted it. At midnight, a text. I love you. Then another. We can get through this. Then, please don't give up on us. The irony wasn't lost on me. She had given up long before she ever texted me. Something came up. The next morning, I met with a divorce lawyer. Signed papers. Started the process. I didn't feel heartbroken or vengeful. I felt like someone who finally stopped running. The following week, Megan showed up with her mother. Tears. Speeches. Promises. I listened in silence. When they finished, I simply said, there's nothing left to save. Megan fell apart. Her mother apologized. I showed them out. Days passed. Megan tried everything. Guilt, nostalgia, panic, bargaining. But once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. And I wasn't going back to darkness. The divorce was finalized 6 weeks later. The judge asked if I wanted to speak. I said only one thing. I choose peace. She cried the entire hearing. I didn't. Months passed. I rebuilt my life from the ground up, piece by steady piece. A new morning routine. New hobbies. New strength. One evening, I sat on the porch watching the sunset when a familiar car slowed near my driveway. Megan's. She rolled the window down. Her eyes were tired. Her voice thin. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry, she whispered. For all of it. I nodded once. I hope you learn from it. She looked down, ashamed. I hope you find someone who loves you the way you deserve. I already have, I said. She blinked, confused. Then realization dawned. I meant myself. I walked back inside without another word. The door shut gently. No slam. No drama. Just closure. My life didn't end when she betrayed me. It began. Sometimes, the greatest revenge is simply letting someone live with the consequences of losing you. And sometimes, the greatest victory is the peace that follows. If you're still here, thank you. Make sure you subscribe, hit like, and leave a comment telling me what you think. It helps us more than you know. I'll see you in the next story.